Hello, good evening, good
Hey,
morning, good evening,
Hey,
uh, and
good
good
evening.
afternoon. I think for the UK and Europeans in the AMA today.
Thank God for the
It,
change in time.
it feels good.
Really come on with the right energy to these AMAs instead of like waking up at 5:30 and hiding my face. So I'm happy to be smiling at you guys here and to everyone watching the AMA. What's up?
I preferred it when you hid your face, Zach. To be honest,
And I'm coming heavy at you today, Steve. Yeah, I'm coming heavy at you. I'm coming from the community at you today, so be ready.
yeah, Me and Benji are both from home again because it's evening instead of morning. We're not in the office, but hopefully I can take advantage of my nice background that I set up.
I've seen
Maybe
you've
I
done
need to
some
improve a
upgrades
little.
over there.
I should have done a few more upgrades, probably. Yeah, it could be better. Could be better.
Do we have members of
We
our
have a
marketing?
couple of so we have a couple of special guests. I'll let them do their own introductions, but we have a couple of new members to the team. Let me bring them on. So first of all, we have Malcolm.
Hey,
Welcome, Malcolm.
how's it going? Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
And Farwa. Here we are. If Farwa is concentrating, there she is, a nice smile. So
And she's still in the office.
yes, it looks like she is still on.
All right.
So Malcolm and Farwa, maybe they can give a little bit of an introduction about themselves. But basically, Malcolm is leading all of the content team. So and basically most things marketing at the moment. One thing that I think a lot of people want to know is where is Shahid? So I think we should maybe just cover that away. Shahid is no longer with the company. He's pursuing some other opportunities, as I think a lot of people have noticed on his LinkedIn. So we wanted to bring on Malcolm and Farwa. Malcolm is basically leading the marketing team right now, alongside Farwa, and Farwa is basically head of all the socials. So all of the great content that you've seen on Twitter, I think the content has been stepped up significantly since Malcolm and Farwa joined the team. Malcolm's actually been with us about a month and a half, and Farwa about a month, almost a month, or over a month, Farwa.
I think you're on mute for a while.
Is that me or
No, Farwa has like a special voice effect or something.
yes, I heard that too. I thought I was hearing things.
Can you guys let me know?
Yes,
No,
there
I
you
can
are,
hear.
Yeah, so I think Farwa's been with us just over a month as well. Maybe
Yeah.
she's having some audio issues. But maybe Malcolm, you can give an intro.
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, I'm Malcolm. Yeah, super happy to be here. Excited to be joining the project, be part of it. So I've been kind of working behind the scenes for the team for the last couple of months. Quick intro about myself. I've been working in the tech industry for the last decade or so, helping build brands kind of at the very cutting edge of tech. I began in smartphones at a company called Oppo. I then moved on to drones and AI at a company called DJI that you might know of. I then moved on to sort of VR and action cameras at Insta360 more recently. So my experience is kind of heavily focused around content production, systems thinking, and kind of operations. And I've specific experience kind of building out what I would describe as a content machine, and kind of that's what I'm really, really excited about coming to Bezoge to build out. And yeah, super excited to be part of the team and join this live stream and kind of get involved.
Awesome.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, we're really, really happy to have you. It's been a pleasure working with Malcolm as well. It's been great from a leadership standpoint. So I have to say that Malcolm, very organized individual, and he's made us a lot more better, more productive operationally. Steve's VPN just cut off, so he's just going to join us. Farwa, if you want to give us a couple of words about yourself. Farwa, by the way, I'll give you a quick intro. She's from our team in Pakistan. And like Steve said, that since you guys have all been noticing and complimenting all the updates on our posts, the way Twitter has been operating, a lot of that is the initiative that Farwa brought on board. So maybe Farwa, you can give us a bit of an intro and tell us.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, hey guys, I'm Farwa. I just read a comment. She's very scary sounding. So, yeah, that's true. So, I'm Farwa. I was previously working as a marketing communications and PR manager. Before that, I was working in the gaming studio as a game content designer. And so my experience is mostly in marketing, and I've also worked as a quality assurance engineer in a gaming studio. So that's sort of like I have prior experience in gaming studios. Right now, I've been with the company for 1.5 months, and I'm really looking to create content that you guys like and engage with. So yeah, that's it. And I'm not that scary sounding. I mean, a little bit, not that much.
No, when you first joined, you had some voice effect on, but you sounded like really deep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I think they're saying you sounded scary.
Yeah.
It was a
You
Darth
sounded a bit like-
Vader type sound to it.
It sounded a bit like the FUD King. I thought it was the FUD King that had joined the call instead of Farwa.
Yeah, I can do the voiceover.
We should meme that. Is Ernesto joining us? Because we had the graduation of our academy. Is he doing that now, or are we gonna do a part of the AMA before?
I think we can do it a little bit later. Maybe do we want to do it at the start? I thought we were doing it later, so I didn't send him the invite link yet.
Okay.
I'll send him the link now, but
Sure,
we
maybe
can get started, and I think we'll add it in, bring him in later.
Yeah.
I'll send the link to him now, though, so we can get started. Let me share add everything up on my screen. The internet disconnected, so I think we're done with the intro now. But maybe we should start off with Zach. You were going to do an overview of some white paper, or is it white paper to go over now? Am I sharing the wrong thing?
This is
I'm
your
sure.
slide.
Yeah, sorry, white paper is the wrong slide. So maybe we should just get started off with game development, Benji.
Yeah, sure. Is my connection okay? I think it was.
Oh wow, I think I just added the wrong thing into the stream. You got a little bit of an early sneak peek there.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Benji.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for the game development updates, right now we've mostly completed the backend of the game. So it's working. We're testing it on the local server, and we'll upload it later on to test it further. But all the database, everything is working. So to save the quests and all this type of stuff, authentication, everything is working right now. We're kind of putting everything together for the beta, but that's a big step we've done in the development. And yes, so we're kind of still linking this to the rest of the game. We also have the new UI that is most of it is done, but there's still a few things to add and to link everything together. So I think it will be a pretty big surprise for the people from the alpha, because the game will actually look quite a bit different in the beta.
Benji, I think it's going to be a surprise for everyone, Benji, because the way the team works now is, we were discussing this earlier, everyone works on different things now. So there's 6 or 7 people all working on completely different things in the Shenzhen office. And no one has actually seen everything put together yet into one, because everyone's working on things separately. So it's going to be really cool to put it all together.
Yeah. I think it will be really cool to see to scale things up a bit. We were we kind of have so the back end on one side, the UI, etc., the combat, and all these things are kind of coming together right now. And I think it will be really cool. I mean, I've seen all these components, and we're adding more and more every day together. And yeah, it looks really, the UI looks really clean. The backend works well. So yeah, that's really cool. yeah, we're also adding like more analytics to the game to kind of understand how the gameplay, how the players will interact. We're still like because there's something we want to test during the beta. There are like quite a few parameters, like how people will gain XP in the game, etc. All these type of things, cost of minting, these things we want to test during the beta, and we're already kind of trying to find like some baseline that we can test, and then we will be able to adjust this algorithm. So we are adding some analytics to the game to be able to kind of really understand how people play during the beta, so we can adjust in the final version for the launch. And besides that, for the funnier stuff, I think we could show the Fat King maybe.
Yeah, I gave a little very quick preview of that earlier by accident. Let me put it on the screen. Here we go.
So yeah, that will be a pretty big boss fight in the game. So it's a bit of a raw version.
The Fat King is incredible. I think. Let me replay it again. Basically, he won't be in this area of the map necessarily. He'll most likely be in his own instance, his own little dungeon. But this is a sort of initial concept of him in the world, sort of to give you an idea of what he'll look like. Textures will be improved, but this is sort of a first draft of the size of the Fud King with his big tentacles coming out of his back. This is a Fud Zogi that is very. He's been consuming too many blocks. He's been consuming way too many blocks.
Pause it there so we get a good look. Oh. There. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty cool. He's got you'll see he has like a big mouth on his belly. If you read about the Fud King, and there's a little bit about him in the lore, but basically he's a Fud Zogi that has been corrupted because he consumed too many blocks. So he actually eats the blocks, and they've corrupted him, and he's grown to be this huge enemy, and he should actually sort of spew out enemies. So he'll sort of spew onto the floor from the mouth that is on his belly, from his mouth on his head. You can see he has multiple heads. You see there are 3 different Bezogi heads. He's sort of a mutant Bezogi, and that's from consuming too many blocks. So he'll spew the blocks out onto the ground, and then enemies will spawn from the sort of the vomit that comes out of his mouth, the block vomit. So it's lovely. He's a lovely creature.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be a pretty big boss fight in the game. I think it should be really epic to fight it. And yeah, I think that we'll test it like during the beta, see how adjust it, etc. We'll add more bosses like that, but I think that will be a cool one to try.
Ben, you can click through the slides yourself if you'd like.
Okay, from the
at the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
You can just click. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see it, or do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah, I don't think I can actually from.
Okay. You're not an admin. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this is like also like another enemy that we've added. Could be also an NPC for like a Ninja Bezogi. I think it's pretty cool model with like we have already the bones, etc. for it, so it can be easily added into the game. Can add like we can see the next one. We have like also quite a few new weapons like the crystal spear. These look really cool. That will add also pretty soon. Like right now, like we have like almost finished all the systems for the game, so we'll be adding a lot of the contents into it. Like we'll add all these models that you've seen in the previous weeks. They should be coming into the game really soon for the beta. And so you can go to the next one. We have some cool swords. quite long swords. I think that will be fit really well the gameplay, and they look cool.
Yeah, I think it's quite important that because the Bezogis are so short, that they have quite long weapons. Is that my connection or is that Benji's connection?
That's Ben again. Ben, you're breaking up.
He's not breaking up. He's come. Oh, there we go.
No, Benji is breaking up. Sorry, Benji. Maybe he's coming back.
So,
But maybe I'll continue. While Benji is, I'll mute him, and so he can unmute himself when he comes back. No, there he is. He's back. There.
Yeah, is it better?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, can check the next one. So we have a new set of spears.
Yeah, I was going to say the animations that I've seen with the Bezogi running and holding the sword is really cool. With the long sword, it looks really cool.
Yeah,
because the sword is so big in comparison to the Bezogi itself.
Yeah. Like these long range weapon, like the spear and stuff. I think they would be really cool in the gameplay, and yeah, they fit well for the Bezogis. So yeah, this is like the crystal spear, I think, and the previous one was on name, but like they're really cool model, like for each like a set of different levels of it. And yeah, so we're like progressing a lot. Like we almost finished all the weapons that we want to have for beta. Of course, we'll add lots more. Like during the beta, even after launch, there will be new weapons, new equipment coming all the time. But I think for the weapons, we've done already. Like if you count each breed, etc., there will be thousands of different weapons that are already created. So we'll just need to add them in the game. There will be it will be lots of content.
I mean, there's essentially unlimited variations of weapons already.
With all the levels of purity, they will all look different and all be unique.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Also, we'll probably try to do a stream in the next couple of days to show the development, both on the graphics side and also on the coding side of the game. So you will be able to see kind of how we work, and we'll try to show some cool stuff to see. We'll do this with Samuel. We'll do the first time on probably on Discord to test it with the community, and then we'll see if we can if it works well with the streaming systems. We'll probably do more on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, we've had people have been really enjoying the feedback from Samuel's streams has been great. People really like them. I really like watching them myself personally as well. So it will be cool to, you get a lot. There's a lot of streams of like the creative side of things, but a lot of people don't see the geeky code side as well. And they don't. I think there's a lot of creativity on the coding side as well, because game developers are not just, you don't just write scripts and code. I think there's a lot of tweaking and actually a lot of creative work that goes into the game development when it's compared to just like coding a smart contract. It's a bit of a different process coding out the game in Unity. So I think it will be interesting to actually share your workflow with Samuel as well, because I know you guys have worked together for several years. So it'll be really cool to see you working together on stream. I think that'll be a really fun stream to watch.
Yeah, we have lots of cool stuff we could show. I think we had like a few ideas of streams that would make sense, where like both the graphics and the coding kind of working together to add like things on the map. We are thinking like maybe a boat that would travel from different places on the map, or maybe something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think that'll be fun.
Generally speaking, these guys are so talented, man. I think we should have a Bezogi in his honor.
Yeah.
after you deliver like everything.
Yeah. Like we'll say everything. Otherwise, people will hate it.
Yeah. There's no honor of being a Bezogi until it's not fully delivered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get Benji to not cut his afro. He wimped out and cut it before the beta launched.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I think we should maybe keep Ben's afro until the main launch of the game.
I see a question which I was asking as well, because in the recent graphics, I noticed Elon Musk is not there. So what are we keeping Elon Musk?
Elon Musk will be there. I mean, I think maybe in some is less. I mean, the map is much bigger, so it's less visible. Maybe in some build it didn't appear.
No, I saw the bird's eye view. The last one I saw, or let's say, sorry, the community saw that there was no Elon Musk.
Oh, but he's still there. I mean, maybe like at some point he wasn't there, but like it should be.
It might be a cloudy day.
I think the easy answer is he went on holiday. I saw the pictures of him looking very pale on that boat. He went on holiday for a while, so I think that's why he disappeared.
Congrats to Nick. Congrats to Doglord. He finally got a sentence in after 4 AMAs. It might be a cloudy day.
The timing changed, right? Finally, the timing changed. That was that time was killing.
It might be a cloudy day. It's gone under quotation now for you, man. Hang it on a wall somewhere.
Okay, so let's get back on track. So I think we're pretty happy with all the game updates internally. Me, Benji, and Ali. Maybe we'll bring Ali on sometime as well, who's our sort of lead game designer in the Chinese team. I think the updates so far this week have been incredible, and the FUD King that Samuel put together has been really good as well. The UI that we looked through today, Benji, as well, everything is looking very good. The rental system, everything should be really good for beta, because that we didn't mention actually that rental system should be in beta. I'm 99% sure we'll have the rental system integrated. I know that the APIs are all finished. I'm pretty sure we're going to have the rental system in beta, so it's going to be really good.
It's good. Proving functionality, which is awesome. But one thing from the community, guys, there's thousands of game assets now. So it would be nice if we could get more visuals, more collages. Like the one I see on my screen, this is good, but since there's like 6 swords and I'm like zooming in, like, you know, just more visuals for people, and like you said during the live streams of it as well.
Yeah, I think people see these are actually the same sword, just all the different progressions of that one sword.
Yeah.
Going from, you know, the rusty version of it all the way up to the great version sort of / legendary version of the sword. Sort of going up in the different power levels. So one thing that's not on any of these pictures as well is there'll actually be particle effects and, you know, cool effects coming off of the swords as well. They won't just be completely plain. There will be particle effects coming off. I think we've shared some of those before. But we sort of going from the rusty up to the great sword at the end, we will have different levels of particle effects. As you can imagine, the rusty sword will pretty much have nothing. And then going all the way up to the top level sword, you'll have a significantly more particle effects, and they should look a lot cooler in combat. You'll see a lot more magical colors coming off, and the particle effects will also be based on the breed itself. So this one is a Bezogian, I believe. So it would have sort of red particle effects coming off. But if you had a speed Bezogian, it would have, you know, more yellow particle effects coming off. So they should look really great in combat. And I think we'll share some videos of that very soon, because we're going to go through the process internally of generating all the videos and like GIFs for each one, and also videos for each one. So that should be in the next couple of weeks that we'll generate all those videos. So yeah, I think
that's all. As much as like more sharing is great. That's basically the more visuals that can go out there for everyone to see, that would be good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think right now basically our strategy for the development was to kind of have like all the models ready because we know how to integrate them. We have like already kind of everything that is, the systems are kind of in place right now. So since everything's kind of ready, we can just add all the content. And so we just have to add it only once, and everything should work well. So I think in the next week or two, I think there should be lots of stuff to show.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks for that, Benji.
Sure.
Okay, shall we move on to the marketing updates? I guess Zach and Malcolm and Farwa are going to give some marketing updates together.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go over the bullet points, and one by one, Malcolm and Farwa can give their input, whether it's the definition of what it is, the process, the methodology, or the reason of why or how it's done. So Malcolm, Farwa, you guys ready?
Sounds good.
Just check. All right, so I'm gonna highlight a few of the smaller things. From a higher level, we've talked about obviously how, and you guys can all see there's improvements in the team. There's more people onboarded so that more quality content can always go out. More posts that are different and not standard can go out. In this last couple of weeks, what we have been working on was we have been initiating and working on paid advertising across Twitter, right? Maybe Farwa can go about how she approached the Twitter, not just the paid advertising, Farwa, but generally how you approach the Twitter, what you saw, what you felt, why we see the content that we see today. Why do we see more of, I don't know, like weapons, animations, visuals? What was the reason behind it? And maybe Malcolm, you can also add in some words.
Sure.
Malcolm, do you want to start?
Yeah, I guess to just add on to what Zach's saying, we both kind of seen what we've been doing is really looking at the game, looking at its progress, all of the assets that you can see that Benji's been sharing, and figuring out what is the best system to get this content in front of our community and you guys. And I think that's the system that we've been creating. It's not perfect yet, but we're certainly seeing an increase in the variety of content that's kind of going out across all the different socials. Email, we're going to be doing blogs, improving the website, etc. So yeah, for the Twitter side and the paid advertising, we're kind of starting to experiment. It's certainly not like turned on all the way up to 11. We're slowly kind of testing different options. But yeah, that's what we've done over the last week, is kind of start playing with the paid advertising. But I think in general, what we've been doing is just looking at the different content pillars, the game updates, the token updates, like information about the white paper you guys have seen, obviously, over the last couple of weeks, and things like that. And that's what we've been focusing on, making sure we can get out to you. We have a lot more interesting stories. We have the Bezoge Academy that Ernesto is going to be talking about a little bit later today, but all of that content we want to be pushing out to the community as well, to a higher level across YouTube, on the different socials, just more polished content that you might see from some of these larger brands, and kind of the quality of content that they put out. We want to match that. Yeah, as well as email and things like that. We've started to finally launch email. So you will have seen at least one email go out. We had to stagger that launch because of something to do with warming up your IP address, which is kind of quite technical. You can't simply just send like 10,000 emails out, because we don't want to get our website blacklisted basically by the host. So we staggered that launch, but you will see at least in August more and more emails coming out to you, to your inboxes as well. And obviously after beta, there's going to be tons of email content going out, which is really exciting. But yeah, we're kind of building the foundations, I would describe it as right now.
Farwa, about Twitter?
Yeah, so generally, I think Malcolm has cover almost all the points. But what we really want is to have a very inclusive community, so that we keep sharing what we are doing. Because at the end of the day, as much as I've gathered information, I think it's like a family of Bezogians. So we really want to share every single thing that we think is important for you all, be it about game updates, be it about the charity, as Malcolm talked about. So this charity thing, I think they've been doing it for quite some time now. But what we really want to do is we want to streamline and start sharing it with all of you, so that you get to see what the employees and overall what the company has been involved in, and how they've been giving back to the world and to the people of the world. In terms of the Bezoge Academy, again, I think I don't think we need to compare between the charity and the Bezoge Academy, but when you're actually teaching to the younger generation something that you think is extremely important and you think is valuable, is that's just priceless. So we probably from next week will be starting, not probably, definitely from next week, we're pushing out content related to the charity and Bezoge Academy. Other than that, mostly because people are only interested in the Twitter, I would really want, I don't know if everyone is interested or not, but go to our LinkedIn page as well. We're going to start different content for our LinkedIn. There'll be more insights into what the team is about, what do they do, and some funny videos too. So they're not really there, but they'll be coming out very soon. We're working on all of that. So the major idea definitely is to share more of the game updates, to share more, because the company is just not about the game updates. There are a lot more to the company and to the employees of the company than just the game updates. So we want to share all of that with the people. And also, I think we really want to have a community where everyone feels safe to engage. Now, that's one thing I think a lot of you don't really engage. I mean, you like the post, but you don't really comment. So that would be awesome if you just tell us which post you like and what you want to see more and stuff like that. That would be really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. No, thanks for that, Farwa. And thanks, Malcolm. I know you guys are just warming up to AMAs, so that's really good. Moving on. So yes, we did do email marketing as well. It was our first campaign in readiness of the beta launch. So that was something that went out to our database. Apart from that, and all the regular marketing activities that you guys are seeing, I'd like to discuss a little bit about also what we're planning to do. I know a lot of the major marketing things like the influencer. I don't need to mention it, but just to repeat it, yes, like those things are still online. With the beta comes the influencer, but until then, apart from what we told you last week as warming up, the pre-beta launch campaigns, the launch campaigns, the trailer's again going to get a little more, it's going to get more rounds in our marketing again, after the initial time we did it, where it was great. The campaign ran really well. We received over 1.7 million views, but now we're looking at more interesting ways and in-depth ways of exposing that trailer. Well, exposing or having it like seen by people. What we're also planning to do in the coming weeks is, I think, something I got from the community, which was also very important, is Bezoge token itself. So we're looking at a lot of details all the time, and there's a lot of aspects of game development and other things that keep going out onto our socials. But we're going to kind of refresh and relive everyone on Bezoge token as well, because now with the white paper, there's a lot more in detail and communicated to everyone that many are not aware of. So there'll be more exposure of Bezoge token as much as we can, explaining not only the token, its purposes, its value, and why people should be buying it, holding it, and what's expected with it. What we're also going to be highlighting on as soon as we get a chance is the staking, because the staking is a very valuable aspect of the Bezoge token. Essentially, it's probably, for now, it's the most revenue generating aspect for Bezoge. So that's something we're looking forward to also highlighting, getting it out there, simplifying it for you guys, so that the white paper itself, those complexities can be put into visuals and put out there, so the general public can easily absorb our information. Malcolm, did I miss any points?
I think No, you've covered everything. Really, the focus is on that preparation for the beta launch, so that when we do launch, we have all the foundations set and we can kind of really hit the ground running. And really, the goal of the next couple of weeks is to just drive the awareness through the trailer, so that we can have people sign up through the landing page that we launched.
So yeah, that reminds me also, we went into Telegram from a point of view to just gain a bit of exposure. We did AMA. Carrie and us, we hosted an AMA to a very large community of South Asian or Southeast Asian communities, like Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, like that part of the world. So there is efforts going on where we've realized that, hey, we could create really good exposure, looking at the heat maps of where the most play to earn gamers are coming from. So that's something that was done as well. Whether we do more Telegram AMAs is now under question, because our focus is now moved towards a Discord. And this is where I'd like to have a message to the community as well. So we are looking to collaborate, work with guilds, gamers, streamers, and so on and so forth, right? Micro influencers and such. So in that effort, obviously, we're going to be reaching out. We do it internally, but we'd also like to leave a message here publicly that we're very open to working with relevant groups in gaming, in blockchain gaming, and whatever categories they come in. So if there's any referrals or any introductions you guys, anyone here on the AMA or listening into the recaps would like to make, yes, 100% very interested. The value we bring to these people, especially guilds, gamers, and players, is that at the beta phase, everything is very customizable still. There's a lot of advantages to develop something from a guild perspective or a player perspective, which makes it easy to manage your group, to be able to work with the team and kind of leave your little provenance. And obviously, moving into the future, guilds will have status in the game as well. So the earlier they join us, the better. We're also going to be looking at, apart from obviously our influencer and what's already signed in, we're also looking to bring in some informative review as well as brand ambassadors. And what I mean by that is the streamers. Sorry. So in streamers, we're looking to bring in more people who are doing what we've noticed from the community and other channels about talking about Bezoge, but also kind of coming in and linking with us and kind of promoting our brand from an ambassador point of view. This applies to mostly influencers or streamers or gamers that have a large audience or following. So this is something where we've done the background work, we've done the data, the communications are just starting to go out. So if you guys can also recommend, suggest, yeah, that we'd really appreciate that as a team. So yeah, that kind of wraps up marketing. I think, yep, it does.
Yeah, I was going to add one thing about the marketing. One thing about Malcolm. I wasn't here when he gave his introduction. Just to give a little bit of more of an introduction, I've actually known Malcolm for about, I don't know how many years, since I was 16. 16 years, half of my life. The reason that we brought Malcolm into the project, I used to live with Malcolm in China for a few years. I think, when you first moved to China, Malk, I think I helped you get a job, and then you lived with me for a while.
We worked on that. Yeah, we worked on a lot of projects together. Yeah, we've worked on a lot of projects not mentioned. But we studied together. Like, all projects we learned a lot from. We didn't really make any money from them, unfortunately.
We didn't make any money. We probably lost quite a lot of money, but that's a different story. We've known each other for about 16 years. We studied together at university, and then we lived together for a few years in China. Malcolm lived in Shenzhen as well, I think, for almost 10 years.
Almost
9 years or so?
Yeah.
8 years you were in China, yeah. So yeah, we've known each other for a very long time. He's a trusted friend of mine, and I know he's done a really good job at DJI, Insta360, Oppo, all these companies. So been trying to get him on board for a while, and now he finally has some time to come on and help us.
Amongst other things, but yeah, this is a very exciting project to be part of.
No, we're not cousins, Ron. We're not. We're both from Scotland, but we're not cousins. Okay. Should we then move on? Next, I guess, is Carrie with the community updates. If you want to lead the way, Carrie.
Yes, what's up, everyone? Okay, so a few things for me. We did something a little different for our second week giveaway. I did a trivia, so trying to encourage people to go to the white paper to get the answers to those questions. I inputted all the names and did a recording of that. I can pull it up in a minute to show the winner, because I didn't want to try to input all those names and do it live. So I did pre-record it. If you want to see the name picker, but I do have the Twitter giveaway winner up, and the post ready to go live. So let me pull that back up, and then I will share my screen. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, can you guys see the giveaway post now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. There was a lot more likes and retweets on this one. So I've got it entered in. This is just one winner. Must follow Bezoge. Hopefully everyone learned their lesson after the last time. So 428 entries qualified for this one. So congrats, people.
That's quite a lot. I don't think we've had 428 before. Maybe we did have more before.
No, that's the most we've ever had.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm going to hit continue. Drum roll.
Oh, if we were using the other software, I could have done the drum roll, but you don't have a drum roll in this.
Bezoge Bomb. Congrats. All right. Yay.
Congratulations.
Bezoge Bomb has been with us
Great.
for a long time.
I was going to say that's someone that I actually know, because quite often it's someone that from the community that I don't really know. But Bezoge Bomb has been here a long time.
Yes, he has.
All right. Yeah, Bezogi Bomb. Congratulations.
Stop sharing for a second. So do you guys want me to pull up the video for the other? It was kind of fun.
Yeah, if you want to, if there's a recorded video, Carrie, you can just click share and then upload the video directly.
Okay, yeah, let me pause it. It keeps wanting to start for me.
We should get Bezogi Bomb up into the next AMA, accepting his prize, giving us a few words.
Yeah, Bezogi Bomb has almost never spoken. For the longest time, a lot of people thought he was a bot.
Oh, I remember. That's where I remember Bezogi Bomb from. Back in the day, he used to leave the Twitter space on 24 hours a day.
Yeah, the voice
so
chat.
He would just always be in the Twitter, not in the Twitter, in the Telegram space. Sorry.
Yes.
He would just always be in the voice
And
chat,
just
but
sit
never
there.
spoke. You're just always completely silent. And now I remember who Bezogi Bomb is.
He's the first guy who got a Bezoge tattoo.
Yes.
Dedication.
Yeah, he has a Bezoge tattoo as well. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. All right, so there was only 29 entries. I was disappointed, guys, So I entered all the names in, and I did a refresh 3 different times. So you'll see in the recorded video. I'm going to start it. So this is my recording. I shuffled all the names 3 times. It was kind of fun to watch. This was the first time I did a name picker like this. And then I spun it. and it was a close one. Almost went to
Oh,
Soul.
very close.
But Start K1211 was the winner for that one. So, and also on a side note, the only entries you had, the rule was that you had to answer all of the questions correctly in order to be entered into the drawing. So luckily there was only, I think, one person that had entered that did not answer all questions correctly. But congrats, everyone. Congrats to our winners. So appreciate you guys that took the time and did kind of dig deep on the white paper. I tried to make it not too hard, but I also wanted to make you look and search for it. So there's that. Yeah,
give us a chance to congratulate the guy. You just like I couldn't say congratulations.
We didn't clap for Start K. Actually, we did just.
I saw Malcolm. He's just
I was clapping. I was like, come on, guys.
So congrats to Start K1211 and Bezoge Bomb. Congrats to both of you guys. So just shows we have winners every week. So continue with your entries. We are working, like Zach was saying earlier, we are working on expanding the community. I've put together a mega space on Twitter. It's going to be tomorrow afternoon. Zach's going to come on and some other projects. I know some people were asking, like, how is that going to benefit us? And it's just networking. I had mentioned in Telegram, look, the majority of people are not just invested into one project, especially when you're getting projects that are similar. So we're not in like competition with these, other projects. I think it's safer and it's better to have positive energy in the space versus feeling like we have to be in competition with other projects, and I personally know some of the people. I've met some of the people that are either devs or heavily involved in some of these other projects. I've met them at some of the conventions I've been to, and they're great people and they're invested in Bezos too. So let them bring their community and listen to us talk about Bezos. So that's the reasoning behind doing that. It's networking, it's sharing, because those holders in their community, they obviously like crypto and play and earn games and different aspects. So why not tell them about us too and bring everyone together and stop.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of really great play to earn projects right now. It's a really fast growing space. There's a lot of very innovative projects coming out. Almost every couple of days you see a new project popping out. So it's very fast growing industry, and it's cool to be part of. And that's what we tried to do with the white paper as well. We did say this a few times. We tried to actually contribute to the industry with the white paper, with our sort of solution for making the ecosystem a bit more sustainable. It's a lot for us about being the leaders in the space and bringing our technology and our ideas to the space and sharing them with everyone so that the whole industry can improve as a whole. We don't just want to keep everything secret and keep it to ourselves. We think it's more beneficial if the industry is successful as a whole, especially with things like in-game economies. If these play to earn games that are coming out just keep failing, and have issues with token prices and tokenomics, and the way the in-game earning economies work, then it's bad for everyone. It's also bad for us. So if we can contribute, sort of help people to come up with new ideas, that's why I think being part of BGA, the Blockchain Gaming Alliance, is really good. As soon as we posted the white paper, we had a lot of messages from people saying, like, how are you doing this? Like, asking me questions. And they started to reach out, and they're actually, trying to now implement some of these things into their games as well. So it's been really interesting, and it's good to contribute to the space, I think. Sort of like Tesla has all of their patents, but then they make them public and share them out. I mean, we kind of want to do a lot of that with what we do, because if we can improve the space as a whole, it's beneficial for us as well.
Absolutely. All right, so I'll get into my questions. First question.
We have questions on the. I put them into the slide, Carrie. So maybe
Okay.
they're actually here. It's sort of in the Q&A, right?
Perfect.
So this is one question that a lot of people have been asking. I think, Carrie, is what is the Zoji token, and what is the Zoji wrapping contract? I mean, I think it's quite simple. Zoji basically, I mean, it is Bezoge itself. You will wrap, much like you have wrapped ETH and ETH. It's a case of you will put your Bezoge into a contract and it will give you Zoji, and it will just be 1,000,000,000 to 1. But the main reason we have it is to allow us to easily track and to allow people to keep their redistribution while they're staked. And it also allows, seeing as Zoji will be a token with no tax on transactions, it will allow you to wrap your Bezoge into Zoji token once, and then you can stake it. Let's say you stake for 3 months. After that 3 months is up, you could withdraw it and then put it into 1 year, or you could withdraw it and put it into one month, without having to pay 2% tax every time you do a transaction. So it basically allows people to move their tokens around a little bit more freely, without having to pay tax all the time, and it allows us for people to keep their redistribution while they're staking as well. I think that's a really important thing. It makes the calculations on the contract a lot simpler. So maybe Zach has something he wants to say about it as well.
Yeah, but it's quite simple, guys. To explain it in a very summarized way, right now the use case of the wrapper is going to be allowing Bezoge to be staked and enable its movement and staking. And for those that are interested, it's going to allow you to also move it between MetaMask and MetaMask without any fees. So all the wrapper is doing is allowing people to start applying Bezoge token without the fees. It's like on the most simplistic way of looking at it.
Yeah, it's basically, the way that I explained it to a few people is that it's kind of like it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 as well, right? So it's, rather than the price being at the moment 0.000007, it will just be, at the current price, it would be like 75 cents. So it just makes it a lot easier for when you're staked to see, very simple to see the price of the token as well without as many zeros. I think that'll help people a lot, and it allows you to move it more freely without having to worry about 2% transaction every time you change between different staking or switch between different wallets. Yeah, it makes things a lot easier. So that's what the wrapping contract is, and that's what Zoji is.
Yeah, and the wrapping will also potentially, we don't know yet, we haven't seen the future, but if it becomes popular, it does help us improve on the native token itself, making us more exchange friendly. Quite a couple of bigger advantages can come. But a lot of people in the community came to me speculating the future of it, and that's something that we can answer today. First, we have to just deploy the wrapper to make it transaction feeless completely for staking, transfers internally between wallets, and whatever use of Bezoge is going to be created for the ecosystem. And then after that, yes, depending on its popularity, there is many places that it could go. And our general vision is to strengthen the native token as much as possible. So it kind of in line with that.
I like this question coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to cover one, like basically what Zach was saying about exchange listings. There's a few things that it helps. So like removing the zeros, so making it like 70 cents a token rather than 0.00007. That's something that will help with a lot of exchange listings. Also the tax as well. The fact that there's no tax on transactions will also help a lot with exchange listings. So there's quite a few things. There's a lot of things that I could list as well that it could potentially help with in the future. But one way to think of Zoji token is sort of like $100 bill versus a dollar bill. I think that's a good way of thinking about it. It is still Bezoge. It's just Bezoge is the $1 bill, and the Zogi is your $100 bill. They're both equal in value, certainly to a certain extent. They're both Bezoge. Just one is more Bezoge in a single token. Okay. Let me go to the next question. This is the one that Nick was saying is a good question. Okay. What feedback have we received on the white paper for investor? The feedback that I've received so far has been very good, very positive. People are amazed by the white paper itself and all the algorithms that we're opening up and the equations that we're actually making public. Maybe Nick and Zach can give a little bit of their feedback because they've been more investor facing than me.
I would say that yes, exactly. I think the way to look at it is yes, the white paper from a geeky side, from a point of view, a lot of you guys noticed, and I think this should have been mentioned in marketing as well, that we did a collaboration or a partnership with Blockchain Game Alliance. Blockchain Game Alliance is led by the CEO of Sandbox and his partner Nick. If you can remind me, the person or the name, and
Sebastian.
So and partly our success over there was also because everyone appreciated our sustainability formulas. So from a technical standpoint, from being more recognized by people who are building inside crypto day in, day and night, that's really good. It went well. From the investor point of view, also, it was taken really well. The proof we have on that is, I think you guys read it in the white paper that the seed round was supposed to be executed in July. And we had an overwhelming response, which means that it was way oversubscribed. And there's tons of people who were just deciding, like, we're getting to choose and decide now what partners we're going to bring into this round, or the partners we're going to finalize into the round. So I think from both a knowledge point and an investment point, I think the white paper is done well. Yes, it's been very difficult as well, Steve, to keep people focused and concentrated to read the entire white paper. Okay, that's been a little bit of a mission for us, because like it's very long, so you have to kind of sit and guide people through it. So me and Nick, we do cool tricks, like sometimes we've divided the white paper into like 5 different parts, so it can be like 2 clicks: core mechanics and pools, and then just tokenomics. And we've been doing a lot of things. So that's one struggle I think we've been facing, is we've had to be there and push and stand right next to them as they're going through the white paper, because independently people are getting through 20 pages, 30 pages, or asking us too many questions. So we've had to be a little more involved due to the whole sophisticated nature of the white paper. So yeah, that's my input on the white paper. I'm also kind of pleased to announce, I think, it's not an announcement usually from a project's point of view. It was just there on the white paper for you guys to understand our stages. But in a way, I did make an announcement that Seed's been successful as well. So that's good for you guys to know as well. All good on that end, especially on the white paper. I wouldn't recommend anything else. Maybe a light paper in the future, something that summarizes the whole white paper.
There's been a few comments, people asking for light paper. I think we will put something together that's a little bit easier to digest.
Something that just summarizes and goes over all the core concepts, leaves out the storyline. It just highlights, just summarizes everything, like something like a 4 or 5 page read.
Yeah, we could maybe summarize each section into like a paragraph or 2.
Something like that. So that's something on the notes, and let's work on it. I think that's a good idea to have something more simpler out there as well. Funny enough, even if you put 5 pages, some people will just get to the second one. But in any case, it is what it is. So that's on the white paper from me. I don't know if Nick has any input.
No, you kind of covered almost all parts of it.
Okay.
So far.
Let me get to the next question. Carrie, these are the right questions, right? You didn't have separate questions, or do you have other questions?
Well, I do have a couple of others, but we'll go through these first.
Okay. When will metadata for Bezogi be updated? We're actually still working through finalizing all of the artwork for all of the different ages of the Bezogi. We've already finalized the baby, the the child and the adult, but we still need to finish the old man, the elderly Bezogi, the wise old man. There's a couple of final tweaks to that, and then we will update the metadata after that. We also have some like a WebGL metadata that we want to launch at the same time, so it'll allow you to actually see your Bezogi in a 3D world directly in OpenSea. I think that'll be a really cool thing that we're adding in. You'll be able to run around on your own little like island as a Bezogi.
That's unique.
Yes, there are very few. I mean, I've not seen any game collections yet that actually have that, where you can sort of actually play in your own little game directly in OpenSea. So that'll be cool. We might have a little like target practice and things that you can do in the game. Benji knows a little bit more about that. I've seen it, but I can't remember exactly everything that's in there. But it's fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's mostly like a way for people who don't have downloaded the game yet, who are just seeing the NFTs to play to have a sneak peek of what the game is and just walking around and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think this is the same answer. I mean, basically, the Bezogi and Petzogi, we'll probably update them both at the same time. I'd like to do it as one update and just make sure we do them both at the same time. As soon as we have finalized the updated artwork for the Bezogis and the look of the Bezogis, we will then move on to the Petzogis. I think that the Bezogis will be finished this week internally. That doesn't mean we'll be updating them this week. We'll be updating them a little bit later, but at least the first draft of the artwork will be finished this week, and then the Petzogis will probably take about another week, because we will update the look of the Petzogi to be looking to match their look with the new Bezogis, to give them proper eyes and to give them nicer textures, and they should be looking a lot nicer. And also, they'll probably also have their own little WebGL world.
OpenSea updates, it was long overdue. But it's good we got the contract check marked, so we're verified as the contract. People asked us why the Bezogi collection hasn't. Just to let you guys simply know, because we have unopened blocks, the metadata hasn't hit those tokens yet, and that's a technical detail for OpenSea. And that's why they haven't been able to verify Bezogis and the Petzogis. But they verified the master contract, which
there is they verified the owner's account, which is the company account. So the company account that owns the collection is now verified. But in order to verify the Bezogi and Petzogi, we need to have opened every single origin block, because one of their requirements is that all of every NFT is revealed. So we do have a couple of solutions to this that we might do alongside the update, which it could be to, a lot of projects do this, and I think it might make sense if we want to get verified, is to separate the origin blocks and the Bezogi into two different collections, which means that every Bezogi that's in a Bezogi collection would be verified, and origin blocks would also just be they are revealed because they're origin blocks, right? So you would burn an origin block to create a Bezogi. So that's one way that we could do that. We may do that in the near future to solve this problem, and that'll allow us to get the collection verified. So we do have a solution.
Or we could do a DAO vote and just click reveal on all the Bezogis.
I don't think that people would be very happy with that, though.
No, that would upset a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah. Me too. Me including.
I did that transfer.
I got origin block number 0. I don't want to lose that.
Wow.
Which is probably a shit Zogi.
Yeah. Okay, let me move on to the next question. Can we get an up? I think we actually already have the answer to the first section of this. We have more than the seed round already subscribed. But in terms of the Bezoge holders getting access to buy, Bezoge holders will have access in the IDO stage, for sure. We may also give some early access during the private stage, depending how the funding goes. But one thing to make clear to Bezoge holders also, you would do the amount of Bezoge that is going into the staking is the same as what is going into the entire free funding round that people are paying for. So you will get essentially free tokens for staking. But also in IDO, we're looking at bringing in, and I think we will, I think this is pretty much guaranteed, a way for holders to directly buy using Bezoge. So you won't have to sell your Bezoge to get in if you want to get in the IDO stage. You don't need to worry about having ETH or USDT. We'll have a way that certainly a portion of the IDO will be payable in Bezoge, so you can buy blocks using Bezoge directly. So that
with the launchpad, it is multiple parts. There is what just Steve mentioned, right? So there'll be an allocation for that as well. There's also going to be the proof of access, which we've talked about, Bezoge token, which would be pure launchpad style, which means a certain minimum amount of Bezoge being held would qualify you to then get into buying MBLK. So you'll have all those options will become available. It'll be like a 2 or 3 part launch. So it's kind of proving blue beginnings as well. And part of Bezoge token, which is, hey guys, if you're holding Bezoge token, it comes with benefits. So these are going to be proving the benefits, the access benefits, as well as the buying privilege benefits. You will not be able to participate in the IDO if you don't hold Bezoge. Basically, that's what I mean. So anyone else from outside of the ecosystem looking to buy MBLK in the IDO stage would actually have to buy a certain amount of Bezoge. So it's proven it's like a snapshot in their wallet at that time for them to be able to then go ahead and buy MBLK. And it's all going to be done in allocations, which means the amount that people want can never be predetermined. It will just depend on how many people subscribe, and then the allocations would be done on a pro rata basis. That's why we've given the second option as well, because in case some people don't get enough MBLK, they have an option to then go through the launchpad as well. So just keep that in mind in case anyone's looking at like a certain amount of tokens or anything. Keep in mind that yes, if Bezoge token is going to become very important at that stage. And yeah, we'll prove the blue beginnings and the launchpad. So this,
do we have those tiers that we can mention yet? Those amounts? I know, like when NFTs launched, to get in on the pre-sale, it was 20 trillion. So okay,
not yet. It wouldn't be 20 trillion though. It would be less than 20 trillion. It would be more like 1 to 5 trillion, something like that. Depends on how many people are interested as well. We still need to finalize the number for that, but. Yeah, once we have an update for that, we will release it and we'll share that with the community as soon as we have a fixed number.
And Kerry, also what's happening is that we might be collaborating with other launchpads, like large launchpads out there as well. So just right now, those exact tiers and allocations are not decided because we're in talks with these launchpads. This will help us generate more user community base and for MBLK token to go into a brand new 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever thousand wallets, depending on the launchpad and its success. I'm talking about outside, not Bezoge launchpad. So once we have that finalized as well, I think by the next AMA, there would be like good detail on this. There would be good details for people to know what's going on, what the expected snapshot dates could be, and potentially. So yeah, we'll it's undecided, but we will put it out there very soon.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, for players that want to start their own guild, is there a way to reserve Bezogi for guild members? And what are the advantages or incentives to joining a guild? We kind of went over the guilds a little bit earlier. There won't necessarily be a way to directly reserve a Bezogi for a guild member. Okay, let me answer that again. There will be, but there also kind of won't be. So every Bezogi will be up for rent no matter what you do. There's no way to remove it from being rentable. But there is a way there will be a way for guilds to define which players are allowed to use their Bezogi. And what will happen is if someone has the right to use a Bezogi, essentially they're the owner of that Bezogi. Then when they log in, they're always able to use that specific character. And whoever was renting it, if they were renting it when you logged in, would then be essentially not kicked out, but they would be shifted to a different Bezogi. So their character would change. They would have about 60 We still need to confirm the exact process, but about 60 seconds to a couple of minutes to continue playing with the same character, and then their character will transition into being a different Bezogi, the next available one in the rental pool. Advantages for joining a guild. I mean, there should be a lot of advantages. If people are sharing accounts, there'll be ways that you can, increase your XP faster. There's a lot of advantages to being a guild in terms that you can share weapons. Potentially, you could share items that you have within the game. You'll be able to share Bezogi characters as well. You get access to basically the typical advantages that you would have being a guild, that you play together. You have strategies that you play together. You share tips and tricks on how to improve your earnings. And you'll also be able to share, typically in a guild, all the items and NFTs that are owned by that guild. You tend to have access to them. So if that guild has, earned or minted very rare, powerful weapons or armor, you should have access to that as a guild. I think that's the main thing that is of an advantage, and especially also the sort of education side of it, where there's strategies that you can learn from other players that will be shared within the guild. I think that's the main thing that's an incentive. Benji, did you have anything else to add on what would be an incentive for being in a guild?
No, I think that covers most of it. I think, yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, in the gameplay, I think it would also make sense to play as a group. And so if you have a guild of players with whom you can have kind of a team up and fight some bosses, you might be able to kill like harder enemies with better rewards. So I think it would be really interesting for guilds to team up and to organize for the gameplay too. So
yeah, seeing that FUD King earlier, I was already thinking, man, I'm gonna need some help with that one.
yeah, for sure. Like these large bosses, and especially with the pool system, we'll probably need to. I mean, in many cases, you probably be better off trying to kill a very hard enemy and team up with as many people as you can. So I think that would be a very good strategy for the
Yeah,
game.
I think killing the FUD King is not going to be a single person task. I would be very impressed if someone manages to kill the FUD King on their own. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
now for sure the players are going to give it a shot.
I see Scorsagian is asking a question about the respawning. Maybe we can go through a couple of these questions that were related to what we were talking about. You wouldn't respawn, you would just continue playing exactly where you are. The idea is that it would be a smooth transition. There may be a little bit of you might respawn exactly where you are because we have to update some UI. There'll be some spells. Like, for example, if you transition from being a Zerk Zogi to a Speed Zogi, there'll be some UI components like spells and things that might need to update. So we might need to do a quick loading for 1 or 2 seconds, but you should be relatively smooth and you will stay exactly where you are in the world. It's not like you wouldn't be kicked out of the game and have to come back in. You would just respawn exactly where you are, and it would be minimal effect on your situation and in the game, on the gameplay. It shouldn't do much. What other questions do we have? Malcolm, did you find some good questions? Malcolm is telling me there was some good questions.
Am I on mute? No, I'm not. I think there's just questions about.
Okay, this is a good one.
Yeah, okay.
What if we stake all of our Bezoge and we only have Zogi token? Do we still have access to the IDO? I'm guessing this is about. You do, because at the point that the IDO is, staking won't be available yet. So it won't be possible to stake your tokens until after the IDO. So, but in future, yes, staking will be the rewards and the access to things will be by staking your Zogi essentially. So it will be by having staked Zogi that you'll get access to things. So, but you get Zogi you wrap your Bezoge to get Zogi. So the way you stake Bezoge is by staking Zogi. So you'll need Zogi to get access to these things. See if
I've seen a lot of questions being asked on the pets. We kind of
There are a
mentioned that.
lot. Chris Willis, how is the seed money coming in any guilds? Guilds
Can
will give. We would never.
can we do? Sorry, can we do Ernesto? I think he's been waiting for a while.
I think Daphne is in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll bring her up.
Yeah, we can.
Thanks,
Let me
guys.
just answer this question first, and then we'll bring them in.
Okay.
How is the seed money coming in any guilds? We can't say anything about the seed money and the guilds. We would never say that until after it's all official. But yeah, the guilds we will announce as we bring them on. And again, for the seed money, we will announce everything at the end of the rounds. And as there's any updates, we'll share them all on socials. Also, the influencers. Influencers again, same answer. We can't really say anything until they make the announcement. We would never make the announcement about the influencers until the influencer makes the announcement themselves. But yes, we did say that there's multiple. At one point, I think we said one was confirmed and one was unconfirmed. There's still one 100% confirmed, and we are reaching out, as Zach and Malcolm said earlier. We're doing a lot of outreach this month for beta launch, so we're planning on not just the one or two. Yes, one or two bigger influencers, but we should have a lot more influencers coming over the coming months. At least that's in the strategy, and we want to bring on more brand ambassadors. So that's the sort of plan that we have. We'll be bringing on more and more influencers to represent the project as we go along, and that's something that the team are actively working on over the next month. Okay, should we bring in Ernesto and Daphne? Ernesto and Daphne, if you could share your camera, because right now you're just an empty. Oh, there you are. There's 4 people there. Okay, wow. Let me bring you guys in. I'm going to turn off the slide first, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of extra space. Okay, here we go. Daphne, you're muted, so you might want to unmute yourself first. Okay, Zach, do you want maybe Zach or who wants to do the intro? Zach, you want to do the intro for Ernesto?
Yeah. So, guys, who you see in front of you? Sorry, my webcam is glitching my device, so I've had to switch it off. But you guys can see we have Superman, Superwoman. We have all the Marvel superheroes times 10x sitting in front of you. These guys are the wonderful team. And I know there is 1 or 2 more people as well that have been helping these guys that credit goes to. I see Ernesto is shaking his head because he knows as well. So there's a team of like 6 or 8 people that have been running our charity to the orphanages as well as our academy. And today this team is smiling proudly in front of you. As you can see with Daphne, she used to be very nervous. You know, today she's all ready, dressed up, because they have successfully graduated our first batch of students from the academy. And I'll let these guys talk a little bit about it, about how it started, how it went, how we're making improvements for the next session. So this effort is going to keep going on. We're never going to stop. We're going to continuously keep doing back-to-back sessions. So you guys go ahead, take the lead.
Anna, stop. Okay. So as you've all known, we've conducted these sessions for over like 3 months, I think, starting last April, and it's been a very interesting journey for us and the students as well. And I would just like to say that personally, the students would also like to thank you guys for all the support that you've been giving to them. Without you guys, it would not be possible for them to get this opportunity. And we reached out to a bunch of students, different ages, different tier levels, in a local community right here in Tondo. And for 15 sessions, we've just been teaching them about different things, about computers, about NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and of course, especially play to earn games. And the response has been pretty great with them. And I think I've found things that I would like to improve with the curriculum that we currently have. And I'm really excited and looking forward to the next batch of students that we will be handling.
Great. Not sure if Zach's back. No, that's really great. I've been keeping a close eye as well on to Zach, and I've been getting regular updates. I've been in one of your Zoom meetings as well, where you're hosting a digital class. So that's very great.
We would like to say a big shout out to Jacko and Forsyth for their supporting the academy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Yako has done. Yako has given a lot of support to the Bezoge Academy. I think the Bezoge Academy, a big part of it was sort of founded by Yako himself, I believe. Yeah, with us and with Zach, there's been a lot of involvement. Yeah, it's really cool to see what you guys have been doing. I look forward to the second class. When is the second class, guys?
We're aiming to get it started this week by Friday. We're currently contacting. This time around, we're contacting San Pablo Parish. Yeah, which is one of the institutions that Bezoge Charity is contributing to. And this time around, we're gonna be helping out the students from the
community
community around the parish, and these students are like scholars of that institution, and so we're currently talking to them right now, and hopefully we'll have our first class this Friday.
Okay, awesome. I look forward to seeing pictures of some smiling students. And I even look forward to the graduation of these smiling students. Everyone looked so happy at the graduation last time. It was great. So I look forward to the next graduation. It's going to be really cool.
Could you introduce?
Oh, right. So we actually have a new member to our team for the second batch. Her name's Mel, and she'll be one of our facilitators for the second batch.
She was the top in the class.
Yeah, she was in batch 1, and she performed so well that we decided to just take her in with the team, and it'll also be like extremely helpful to get her perspective with how we should run these sessions, since she already experienced it herself. So yeah,
I have a feeling that's it will be quite inspirational for the students, that they can see what the teacher has come from the previous class. I think that's really cool. I think I have a feeling I know who it is. There was one girl in one of the pictures, a lot of the pictures actually, with a huge smile on her face.
Yeah.
Why you remembered? I'm guessing it's her that is the student that is becoming the teacher. Maybe I'm assuming I know who it is. There was one girl that was very like center stage on the photos and had like a big smile on her face. So I look forward to seeing her teaching some of the classes.
We're all excited as well to get started.
Before we go out, go ahead.
We were saying it would be really nice to see what was I going to say? It would be nice to actually see some of these classes and maybe live stream them. I think we discussed this before. It would be really nice. I think Farwa would be great for the social content, and I'm sure a lot of the community would like to watch and see what's going on in these classes.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can discuss about that in one of the future classes, because the first class is graduated already, right? So we can discuss something like that for the next batch, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Great. I think that's all from me. Is there anything else that you guys have to say, Ernesto and Daphne?
Yeah, I would like to congratulate Bezoge Bomb. I want to say you're the man.
Thanks, Ernesto. I don't know if Malcolm has ever experienced. Malcolm and Farwa have ever heard you saying that phrase, Ernesto, but I know a lot of the people that are watching the stream.
Traditional sense. There wasn't enough energy behind that one. You got to do that one over. Put Ernesto into it, like
Ernesto. Next time we should get you a nice microphone, and you should come on and sing a song for everyone. I remember you used to sing songs for everyone on the voice chat. I remember that. But this is Ernesto's catchphrase is "You the man." So he used to say it all the time on the voice chat. And Ernesto was always sort of the heart and soul of the project at the beginning. I think everyone in the community knows Ernesto very well, and he's a very loved member of the community. And I think we wouldn't be where we are without Ernesto. So thank you very much for Ernesto for everything you've done for the project. It's really good. I still have some voice recordings. I remember, Ernesto, you rented a studio and recorded yourself saying "you demand" to add into the game. Maybe we should. Maybe you can share that Google Drive with me again if you can find it, and I'll add it. Make sure we try and get it added in on one of the enemies or something. Could be really cool.
I lost the recording, but I already sent new recording to AD.
Okay, great. I'm sure he'll find a way to implement it. We should maybe have some sort of weapon or some enemy that says "you demand" or something somewhere. We need to integrate it somewhere into the game. Okay. Thank you, guys. If you have anything else that you need to add before you go.
I think I'm all good. Yeah, I think we're good on our end. And once again, we'd like to thank all of you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for everything you've done for the Bezoge Academy and the charity. The work that you've done has been incredible. Thanks,
you so
guys.
much.
Okay. So maybe we can. There's a couple of questions that have been really good. I think this question here. So we can wrap 100% of our Bezoge and transfer it to a hard wallet with zero tax. Correct. If you were to wrap into Zogi, you could then transfer those Zogi tokens into your hard wallet and not pay any tax. You would just pay the 2% tax when you wrap your Bezoge into Zogi. And then you can move the Zogi tokens around to any wallet you want without any tax. This question from Atrik Gupta as well. Can Zogi be converted back to Bezoge again? Yes. There's wrapping and unwrapping of Zogi. So any Bezoge that you turn into Zogi can also be unwrapped and turned back into Bezoge. You'll just pay a 2% tax each way. So when you wrap it, you would pay 2%, and unwrapping it, you would also pay 2%. But there'll also be a liquidity pool for Zogi itself. So you wouldn't necessarily need to unwrap it to sell it if you did want to sell the token, or if you wanted to do something with it. You could just sell the Zogi directly as well. So there was another question that I saw. Let me find it. From Wall Street BMX. Yes, I mean we mentioned on the last AMA, we're not just planning to build one game and one MMORPG and that's it. We do want to expand on the universe as a whole. Sort of like I think we said last week, we want to be the Blizzard of blockchain gaming. That's the goal here. So we will most likely very soon be actively hiring to expand the team to actually start working on future titles alongside the current game. Of course, also expanding the current team, but I think we'll have a few people that will start brainstorming on future titles and start working on new games alongside Legends of Bezogia. There will be mini games within the game itself. So like I think someone said, you said Mario Kart and Crash Bandicoot style. We've said this before actually, we will have a sort of most likely have a racing game within the game itself as a mini game in Speed Zogia. So we're actually working out how we're going to integrate that right now as well. So there should be mini games within it. So in Zerk Zogia there'll be like a Coliseum. In Speed Zogia we'll most likely have a mini go-karting style game. And each of the different worlds that we have in the future will have a P2P mini game within it that allows us to have sort of different style of games within the MMORPG game itself. But very much so, we are not just planning to launch one game and that's it. This is that's why the Bezoge token is, that's the key token here. It'll give access to all future games as well as Legends of Bezogia itself. Any other Ron Vecchio, when white paper for dummies? I like that question. I think we will release some sort of light paper. I know that Farwa and Malcolm are working on some content to try and sort of, for lack of better words, based on this question, to dumb down the current white paper and make it much more digestible into sort of bite-sized chunks that go into a bit more detail and explain it in a very simple way. I think that content should be coming out soon. Is that right, Malcolm and Farwa?
Well, we've been sharing certain things, but yeah, we are working on kind of dumbing it down, like you said. But it's one of those topics that it is complicated, and we were discussing this earlier today, Steve. Like, the entire crypto space is complicated, and it does require some effort on everyone's part to just kind of be like, okay, let's sit down, read this section, and maybe read it a few times to really understand it. Like any form of finance, when you take out a mortgage for a house, it's not straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do our best to simplify it. And I think as the team expands, we bring on videographers, we'll be able to make things that are like little animated videos that kind of explain things in simple terms to people.
And I think alongside our own content, that's where we will be working with a lot of influencers as well. As we bring on more influencers to be partners with the project and ambassadors of the project, we'll be able to get a lot more content from them, of them explaining a lot of the content in videos as well. Because I think even when you look at other projects, quite often the way that people learn about how what the white paper actually means is because there's some influencers that have made videos about it and explaining it. So there was one really good video about the white paper where they went into detail, and they explained a lot of aspects of it. And I think moving forward, we'll probably have a lot more content like that in the future, of not necessarily just from us explaining things in the white paper, but also from influencers and community members like Swifty and Rabbit. A lot of these people will be creating content to explain these things as well. Any other questions that I see here? Will we be able to buy Bezoge and Bezogi in-game at some point, auction house style? Auction house style, I'm not 100% sure, but we will have an in-game marketplace, and we will have an on-website marketplace as well, to be able to buy and trade all NFTs within the game itself. So that'll be weapons, Bezogi, Petzogi, armor, shields, basically any item that can be created as an NFT within the game will be tradable. So yes and no. I mean, it definitely will be an in-game marketplace that you'll be able to sell. And they'll also most likely be the pawn shops. We will have the pawn shops. How the pawn shops work are yet to be... The fine details are not confirmed yet, but we know the rough concept of how the pawn shops work. We'll begin testing out the pawn shops in beta because we need to see how the numbers are before we define exactly how they work, because they're quite a tricky thing to get right. And if they're wrong, it could cause, there's a lot of issues that could be caused. So we need to get that right. I think that's it on the questions. Maybe there's
I have one more question that a lot of people have been asking. There's some confusion about the difference in open beta versus closed beta. If you can kind of go into detail about that, and if beta is going to be open about the same amount of time as alpha, and just kind of explain a little bit of the differences and on.
Yeah, a little bit closed beta and open beta, just to be 100% clear. There won't be a huge difference between closed beta and open beta in terms of what the game actually is. It'll be the same game. The main difference is closed beta will be invite only. So it allows us to control the demand. If there's too many people signing up, we can restrict it to, let's say, 500 people per day, whatever the number that we need to restrict it to. It gives us a little bit more control as we slowly ramp up the servers. because we don't want to just suddenly on day one have 10,000 people trying to come in and the servers are unstable. So we'd like to ramp things up slowly. We're working with Unity Multiplay, who, I mean, I think we mentioned before, they run the servers for Call of Duty, they run the servers for Fall Guys, and they're working on optimizing our server structure right now, actually. We had a call with them last week with their team to try and start optimizing the servers and make sure that they can make a scalable solution for it. So we're confident that the servers will be very scalable, but at least we still need to do a lot of testing with real players in the game to get real life data, because there's only so much that we can do with simulations. Does that answer the question with what's the difference between closed beta and open beta? They're basically the same. Open beta will be, okay, there was one more. Open beta will just be whoever signs up can play. Basically, that's the difference. You won't need to be invited. With regards to schedules, maybe Benji can say a little bit, because we probably will do more testing than we do right now. There'll be more frequent testing sessions, but less frequent updates. We will tend to stick with sort of one version per month, something along those lines. If there's major bug fixes that need to go out, they will go out, but most likely once per month there'll at least be an update. Something around that. The reason for that is every time we have to push out an update, it takes a lot of time from development in order to make sure we have a stable build. So we're more focused on actually ensuring, in order to have the game active more often, we have to have less updates. And that doesn't mean that there's less development being done. It just means there's a lot more development being done between versions of the game. We'll most likely run games for a significant period of time before bringing in an update, unless there's a crucial bug fix. Sorry, on you go, Benji.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are like more and more components into the game that will work together, like with the backend and everything. So we'll also have to do more internal testing before we push an update. But yeah, but we'll still have more open time slots. I mean, the game won't be open 24/7, at least not at first. But like, that we'll have more testing sessions.
Yeah, I think we don't know an exact number, but probably more frequently. Right now it's once per week. I think it will be more often than once per week. And at least as the beta gets tested more, I think we can probably ramp up more and more test sessions as we move into open beta. But I think it shouldn't be an issue to have sessions a couple of times a week or 3-4 times a week, even in the future, depending on how stable the game is. And as long as we're not doing updates with every single test session, we can run a lot more test sessions than we do right now. Even potentially something like, I don't want to commit to this, but even potentially daily at some point, but we'll ramp our way up to that slowly after the closed beta opens up, but it'll be significantly more frequent than the alpha.
That's for sure. That's the goal. I think what we might do, I mean, sometimes when we push an update, I mean, it's quite convenient to have relatively some time between, like, when we test the game once, and if we see some issues, we can fix them. We have time to fix them and then push another update with the fixes. So I think that's why at first it's good if we have some, like, if it's not on 24/7, but with quite frequent tests. I think that will make sense.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Okay, there's one last question. I'll go through the questions, and I think we can maybe move on to the next segment. Is there a next segment actually, or are we bringing anyone on this week?
No, I think only Daphne was coming on.
Should we send out the link again and invite some of the community members up for maybe the last 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask questions.
Yeah, the only problem is that the room is currently full. we can only have 10 people in a space. So let me remove some of this stuff. Daphne, I'm gonna have to kick you out. I do apologize. I'll kick you, but I'll kick you out so that we can bring some people up. But thank you for joining, Daphne and Ernesto. Let me answer this question. I'll send out the link and then I'll answer this question while people come in. So staking rewards will be, there's two different aspects of staking. One is the fixed rewards, which are a linear release over 2 years. So they're basically released on a second by second basis, essentially. I mean, if you were to check how many rewards you have now in 5 minutes, they will increase, but you'll be able to withdraw once per day. Once per 24-hour period is what you can withdraw. With the dynamic rewards, which are basically based on on-chain events, like the money that the tokens that people are spending on summoning, tokens that people are spending on that we put in as rewards from the ecosystem, let's say from royalties on NFTs. Basically, they will also be deposited once per month and then released on a 30-day linear release. So, or 28-day linear release. So basically also every day those tokens will come into as rewards and you'll be able to withdraw once per day. So you'll always be able to withdraw both your fixed rewards, which is the linear release, and also the dynamic rewards on a daily basis. There'll be no rewards up front. They're all released on a daily basis on a linear release. And Shiny Bezogian, you are correct. Okay, if anyone would like to join in and ask any questions live on the video for the last, let's assume we're going to end in 10 minutes, well, 13 minutes. Please click the link. I posted it in the comments. If anyone wants to join, please click the link, join in. It's the streamyard.com link. Please feel free to join in if you have a question. Did anyone else in the team have something to mention? I'm drinking a McDonald's cup, and Malcolm is making me laugh by sending me messages saying I'm sponsored by McDonald's. Unfortunately, it's all you can get delivered after 10 p.m. I didn't have time to eat dinner until 10 p.m. and the only thing that you can order after 10 p.m. is McDonald's. Seeing as I'm not on the spotlight anymore, I'm going to move us back to the grid.
No one wants to come up and chat and ask.
Yeah, this is the first time. Usually there's a lot of people coming up, but this time there's no one.
I think
the AMA has gone on for 3 hours, so I wouldn't blame people.
Only 2 hours.
Oh, sorry, 2 hours. So I wouldn't blame people.
So I'll ask another question. I know we talked about pets a little bit. Will we see the pets in beta, or do we have to wait until main game launch?
No. You will see them in beta.
Okay.
We are working on some more interesting ways we can integrate pets. I'm quite excited to see what we can do. We need to test a few things during beta, I think. You certainly will be able to use them to just follow you around as a little aesthetic tool. Just run around behind you in the game. We're still deciding what sort of abilities they would have in terms of, let's say, the Holy Zogi being able to heal you, maybe. It's something we're considering, but we need to work out how easy that is to balance. And then we're also thinking about, I don't want to give away too much, but we're thinking about how we can make them a bit more collectible and actually have a proper use case within the game. Maybe some PvP mini games for pets. That's all I'll say.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I think that the PvP mini games for pets will be a lot of fun. But yeah,
that could be interesting. Watching the apes fighting or something. Yeah, or even the dogs.
Okay, we have a viewer already. I believe this person has been on before on on the stream, so let me bring him in.
Yes.
His name is currently South Beach Desk Meeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like Brian.
Hello there.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
It's going well. I just wanted to start off by saying how much I am enjoying everything about this project. It is remarkable. I found you folks back when I was the director of digital communications at Blockster.com, and now I've sort of rolled out my own content creation company, South Beach Desk. And my question for you today is from a journalist / data analyst side. Will there be reporting, a functionality where players who want to manage their play to earn gaming like a business, will there be reporting that allows one to do data analytics and look at the return on investment for the various Bezogis they've minted, if they're selling things in the pawn shop, things along that line, so that one could run it like a business?
Yeah, there will be. We were actually discussing this today, me and Benji. We want to have as many sort of data and charts within the game as possible for you to actually view different things. So we were even thinking about specific quests to show because we have the pools and the amount that you're earning from each quest is varying on a daily basis. So we may have things like charts so you can see how the earnings from a specific quest or enemy are changing over time. We will have an admin panel on the website and in the game for the user account that you'll be able to see how much you're earning per day and where you're earning those blocks from, so that allow you to get a bit of data. We will also have. We want that when you're in MMORPGs, you tend to do a lot of farming of enemies. So just hunting down enemies tends to be called farming. And because we have the pools for these different enemies, they'll have different levels of yield. So we'll actually have a little bit of data within the game so that you can go yield farming. So you'll be able to sort of look at what enemies have the highest yield today. Maybe I don't know, a ship is today is 200% compared to its regular reward for killing it, and so you'll be able to look at what the highest rewards are for different enemies and different quests, and then go and farm the best quests and the best enemies on that day. So you should sort of have live reporting on the best way to play on that specific day, and you'll also be able to see historical data of your previous earnings and also of the earnings of other players in specific quests as well.
If I may, as again a data analyst, if it was possible to download more granular data, because a question I might have, which would be something that would be interesting as a player, and also then as somebody maybe writing a story, because you mentioned earlier how geographically around the world there are hot spots, Southeast Asia, where play to earn gaming is more popular than maybe the US or Europe. I would love to look at the things you mentioned, but be able to download the last 3 months by every 5 minutes, so I could do some actual analysis. But again, I don't know if that's an easy thing to provide.
Yeah. No, the amount of data that actually will be stored there'll be a lot, but there's a lot of data that we won't be able to actually store because it would be too much to have in a MySQL database. It would just get out of hand.
Sure, that makes sense.
to go like ultra granular. But we do want to, one concept that we have that funny you mention it kind of, is that we could create our own sort of block explorer for the game, which would allow essentially us to make all of the earnings of every single player fully transparent to everyone. Whether we implement that or not right away, or if we ever implement that, is still subject to change. But it's something we want to explore, that we could potentially just make the earnings of every single player, every transfer of tokens to every single player, completely transparent, like Etherscan, but just for the own game database, so that everyone can see which players are earning how much and where they earned it from, which I think is basically exactly what you're asking. It would basically allow you to see everything.
But I sort of, again, as a data analyst, I'm thinking, okay, I would like to write an article, and I want to talk about maybe the subject is the optimal time to play the game when the fewest people are competing at a certain place where one farms. So maybe one is farming a tower, and between midnight and 4 a.m. Central Standard Time, nobody is farming that tower over the last 2 weeks. That sort of thing, because I again, trying to think about what would be interesting articles. Does that make sense?
And that's where these sort of in-game charts would make sense. Mm-hmm. Whether you would be able to download that externally, I don't know if we would have that function, but at least we will have that for players. This is what we were discussing today: is having a time chart of, let's say, the last, like you said, like the last 3 months of each specific pool, right? Yeah. So rather than going down to the exact like tower in the game, but the pool where the blocks are being earned from, showing the history of what the earnings were at specific times. So if the would be great. If the average earnings were lower, that would mean that there's more people farming at that time, and if they're higher, it means there's less people farming at that time. Yeah. So me and Benji literally talked about this specific use case today, where I could see that maybe on every Monday in this one area of the map, there's no one playing, and so I can go farm that area of the map every Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
So we would like to show that sort of data at least within the game. Whether it'll be exportable, I don't necessarily think so in the beginning, but we'll try to be. We'll most likely have on our website as well to show all the data of each pool, and with some charts to show like on a daily basis or hourly basis which pools are being farmed.
If it's possible to put that on a wish list to have it exportable, the underlying data for the charts in a CSV file, that would, very few people I think would be interested in downloading it, but the ones who do, we could use it for whether it's articles or creating courses on best optimizing. So for every 1 in 1,000 would download, there may be value to the community, but I'm biased.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think rather than, maybe Benji will, I'm sure Benji will probably agree with me here, but I think rather than it being a CSV export, it would probably be more valuable to have some sort of API, because I think that would, for us, there's not much value to doing a CSV export because community can't build much with that. But if we were to create open APIs for a potentially community to get access to this data, where they could build, because then they could build applications on top of that, right? There could be community websites that are taking this data and aggregating it and giving it to players and creating applications for players to learn how to play better. That sort of thing.
That is brilliant for everyone on this call except me, because I don't have the technical acumen to. I know what an API stands for, but I couldn't use an API to get the data I want because all I know is VBA code, and so I am not talented enough to take advantage of an API. Is the issue.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we could look into doing CSV exports and things like that, but
it shouldn't be a high priority. But if somebody says, should we have it, I can make a strong case for there being value for the folks that don't have, like I said, the technical acumen to use an API. I would love to have that skill set. I don't.
Okay, for sure. Benji?
I mean, I think anyway, once we have the API to get to fetch the data, I think if we can expose it to the level of our website, I mean, exporting it as a CSV shouldn't be much of an issue, because
that would make me incredibly happy.
So I mean, that's for sure. That's something we'll consider. I mean, I don't make any promise because I don't really work on that side of, like, it would be more on the website part and these things. So there
we'll
might be
look
other
in-
considerations, but
We'll definitely look into it once the game is public and once we've explored the data ourselves. But I think whether it's a CSV export or some sort of API that would allow people to build upon it would be, I think it would certainly be very valuable for the community, even if it's one of the two would certainly be valuable, because I can imagine a lot of applications being built on an API like that. And CSV export, if there's an API, CSV export is already going to be pretty easy.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much. And one last quick question. What is your folks' position on talking about or streaming stuff from the alpha or beta testing?
Completely open to it. We have
I didn't want to give that because I didn't know if it was during the alpha too much of a secret.
No, we have we're completely open to that. In fact, we have a Discord group for streamers. So if you're interested, you can reach out to Carrie.
Yeah, I know Carrie.
And she can get you into if you're interested in streaming the game, get in touch with Carrie, and I'm sure she'd be more than happy to add you into the streaming group.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoy the AMAs. The white paper was remarkable, and I cannot say enough about how brilliant a job everyone's doing. So thank you for letting me into the call, and keep up the great work.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, that was thank you very much, Meeks. Did you say it was Brian, Carrie? Is that his name?
Yeah, Brian is his name. He's great. Yeah, we met originally when he was with Blockster, but yeah, he seems to be enjoying the alpha.
Okay.
Yes, and I felt bad because my son was in alpha this last session under my username, and he was just terrorizing everyone. And I think he was picking on a couple of the guys, and Meeks was one of them. So I had to apologize to him and be like, "That was my son. It was not me. You were getting attacked by a 13-year-old." So.
Okay, great. Okay, I mean, great input. It's a nice way to end, but I think it would be actually very cool to have some sort of API system for a community to build upon. So whether it is like we discussed there, CSV, but I think the API could be. I know I keep saying API and he said CSV, but I think API could be really cool to build, because other games like I know Axie, for example, has a lot of applications that have been built by the community to help people to play more efficiently, and I think opening up something like that, a platform for people to build upon, would be really cool and valuable to the community. And it would help allow people to play the game.
As the game gets bigger, right? Because you'd have breeding calculators where if you're breeding two different Bezogi, someone should know what
exactly, and it's only with having these APIs for developers to fetch data from that they can make really accurate applications built on it. So I think it would be really good.
Yeah.
But thanks to Meek, Brian, for coming on. Okay, is there anything else to be added from the team? Nick, Zach, Carrie, Benji, Farwa, Malcolm?
Nothing from my end.
All love and nothing else from my end.
Carrie?
Nope. Just a reminder, if everyone can hop on our big meta networking space, it's tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time, so 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
I thought you were gonna, for a second there, I thought you were gonna say, just a reminder, safety first, because that's what you usually say, Carrie.
No, I haven't even discussed safety like every AMA. You guys know. I hope you've all changed your Telegram settings by now after my video. But yeah, always be safe. Don't click on strange links or any links. I just avoid links.
Recently, Carrie, just to mention, there's a lot of scams happening on LinkedIn as well. So anyone, please watch out. Don't open any specifically related to PDFs, I have been told. I think there's a lot of hacks recently happening with PDFs. So just stay clear of any PDFs. If someone sends you a job offer as a PDF on LinkedIn, just be careful that there's a lot of scams going on where you open the PDF and it'll there's a way that they can do it and it can completely empty your wallet. So just be careful with that. I know that there's a rumor that that's what happened with. I'm not going to discuss actually. But anyway, the PD don't open PDFs unless you know they're from a trusted
Stop
source.
clicking links.
Yeah, don't click links. Don't open random PDFs from people on LinkedIn, and you should be fine. Okay, Benji, anything to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Farwa?
No, it was great, guys. I really liked South Beach Desk comment. They were really good. And then there was a guy, Ron, whose comments were also funny. So yeah, it was fun reading the comments.
Yeah. And Malcolm? I guess Malcolm and Farwa, it's your first AMAs. So maybe you could give your feedback on the AMAs before we go. How did you enjoy being part of the AMAs?
That was good. Yeah, that was great. I think it was great this time to really answer a lot of the comments from the community. I think maybe next time we need to try and get more people, more faces, put faces to the chat and get them on to answer comments and not be shy.
Yeah. There used to be a lot of people asking questions when we had the Twitter spaces before. And I know some people are a bit more shy when it comes to coming on camera. But you can also come up and just, like Zach is right now, he had problems with his webcam. You can come up and just speak without going on video. So if there's people on the next AMA that are worried about coming on video, you can come on with your camera off. That's completely fine. Okay, I think we can end it there. Thank you everyone for listening, for coming, for joining. Great AMA as usual. And if you have any further questions, please mention them in the community or on any of our Twitter posts, or reach out to Carrie. All of us are more than happy to answer any questions at any time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See y'all in a couple of weeks.
Guys, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.